Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu says gradual withdrawal of soldiers from the streets of the southeastern state will commence on Friday. Ikpeazu, reacting to the security situation in the state, pledged to meet with President Buhari to discuss possible ways of relaxing the military operation in the state for the moment. There has been an influx of military officers in the state ahead of the Army Operation Python Dance 2, which is to commence on Friday, September 15th to Saturday, October 14th, 2017. However, before the official launching, there have been clashes between the Nigerian army and members of the indigenous people of Biafra. Following the clashes, Ikpeazu says Ikpeazu on Tuesday imposed an initial 3-day curfew in the Aba area of the state. The curfew has now been extended to Friday. It runs from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army says it will launch an investigation into a viral video which shows military officers assaulting some civilians suspected to be members of the indigenous people of Biafra. The video being circulated on social media shows dozens of men being made to lay topless on tarred road, beaten and forced into a pool of mud by men in army uniform. Speaking on the incident, Acting Director of Army Public Relations Brigadier General Sani Usman admitted the Army is aware of the viral video and have begun investigation on the incident. It assures that it will disclose the outcome of the investigation to Nigerians. Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development Aisha Al-Hassan says 106 Chibok girls will begin school in 2 weeks after reuniting with their parents and friends in their hometown. The girls who have undergone medical and psychological rehabilitation will commence a special foundation program at American University in Yola, Adamawa State. The minister disclosed this at a send-off party organized in honor of the girls in Abuja on Wednesday night. She said the foundation cost to be undertaken by the girls was equivalent to pre-degree program offered in some universities.
We have been able to bring these girls back to what you have seen before you today. And I'm happy to tell you that the girls are now okay. They are ready to reunite with their larger families, the Chibok community, from where they will now go to school. It is the beginning of school year. The last time we met, I told you that they are going back to school in September, end of September or beginning of October. And by the grace of God, they will go home and stay like 1-2 weeks with their parents, the larger community of Chibok, before they go to school.
The Nigerian Air Force says it has commenced another round of medical outreach program in Borno State to victims of the Boko Haram insurgency. According to the force, the new round of medical outreach is targeted at enhancing available medical facilities and personnel at the medical center of the Air Force in Maiduguri. A team comprising different medical specialists had been deployed to the 105 CG Medical Center to augment the existing medical manpower for the operation. The National Association of Resident Doctors has agreed to suspend its nationwide industrial strike action. The strike action, which lasted for 10 days, was in protest of the government's inability to honor some of its past agreements with the union. However, after deliberating on the government's recent promises, the doctors have agreed to return back to work. The decision comes a day after some health unions warned of a looming strike action. The bodies presented a 6-point demand to the Nigerian government, which they say must be met within the next 7 days. Meanwhile, as the government settles its issue with the health unions, it seems that may not be the end of the problem. The United Labour Congress of Nigeria, ULC, has issued a 7-day notice of strike to the federal government. Addressing newsmen, the body's president, Joe Ajaero, says it will embark on an indefinite strike action if government does not meet its demands. The Labour body said the federal government response to their demands through the Federal Ministry of Labour failed grossly to address the critical issues raised by it.
This course of action, though very painful as to us, this time is the only alternative available to us as we have exhausted all non-peaceful processes towards an amicable resolution of the dispute. We therefore call on all genuine patriots to join hands in solidarity with us to urge the federal government and the state governors to be kind enough to meet the demands of Nigerian workers and masses.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, are currently meeting in Abuja to determine their position on the offer made to them by the Nigerian government towards ending their strike action. The union had presented 7 demands to the government, which were met with new offers last Friday. The government, through the Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, said it would make funds available in September and October to back earlier agreements and to show its good faith. On its part, ASU said it will deliberate on the matter and get back to the government in 1 week. An announcement on the strike action is expected on Friday. The National Union of Electricity Employees have picketed the premises of the Bureau of Public Enterprise demanding the payment of its allowances. The union says it is giving the body a 7-day ultimatum to pay the amount owed to it or face continuous protest in its premises.
At this point, we want to say that the BPE has given us their word. And this time around, we are not going to rest on our rights. Yes. On Friday next week, as agreed with them, they will communicate to us the outcome of their meeting at the villa. For those who do not know, this place, we have always bombarded them because there were also errors made from here. If they have paid us before TSA, we won't be here talking about delayed payments. So we are appealing to them to help themselves because we are never tired of Aluta. And we are saying that if they renege on the promise they have made to get back to us latest Friday, next week, Aluta will continue.
Out of our concern that this matter should be resolved, we accepted the advice of your leadership to interact and come up with an agreement outside the BPE, mediated by the Commissioner of Police in charge of Maitama and FTE.
The acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, says the anti-graft agency is working on plans to extradite a former petroleum minister, Diziani Alison Madueke. Speaking at a press briefing, Magu also reassured Nigerians of EFCC's commitment to the fight against corruption. He, however, warned that all Nigerians have a role to play in the campaign against corruption. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onogen, has once again expressed his resolve in the fight against corruption and other related concerns that have plagued the nation. Justice Onogen was speaking at the 33rd Annual Federal High Court Judges Conference in Abuja, the nation's capital. He was represented at the occasion by the President of the Court of Appeal, Zainab Bukachua.
The Federal High Court undoubtedly is one of the most strategic and significant arm of the judiciary and should be empowered with the required human capacity to discharge its constitutional duties. Thus, I assure your lordships that the process of appointing judges to this court is underway and would soon be completed with a view to ensuring that the court enjoys the full complement of its judicial officers as stipulated by the Constitution. I would also like to stress the fact that the judiciary remains committed in its responsibility towards the fight to tackle corruption as spearheaded by the federal government. I seize this opportunity to urge all other stakeholders involved in the dispensation of justice to perform their own roles effectively.
It is our practice in the Federal High Court from inception for honorable judges of the court to meet annually to appraise the activities of previous years with a view to finding solutions and to identify some problems with a view to solving them. In the process of finding solutions to identify problems, honorable judges sincerely correct and apportion blames to their erring brother judges before they eventually rededicate themselves to the core values of our calling and profession. This year has been the tonic and tool with which we enter into the new legal year with more determination and vigor.
National Examination Council has announced the release of the 2017 June-July Senior School Certificate Examination results. The registrar of the council, Charles Owakwe, said 1.54 million students sat for the exam. From that number, 745,053 candidates, representing that 70.85% had 5 credits and above, including English and mathematics in the exam. The performance represents a 1.11% improvement in candidate performance compared with the 2016 result. 276 schools were involved in mass cheating in 34 states, while 6 schools were derecognized for examination malpractice.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alahaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
The NNPC says about 700,000 barrels per day of crude oil were deferred in 2016 due to pipeline sabotage. A statement by the group managing director, Mikanti Baru, said Nigeria recorded 27 breaching incidents on the Trans-Niger pipeline and 17 breaches on the Trans-Forcado pipeline, with a capacity of 300,000 barrels per day. Baru urged key players to rally round the professionals to provide solutions to this challenge, as it posed a great threat to the Nigerian economy in terms of revenue loss and environmental degradation. Angola's Constitutional Court announced that last month's general election result is valid and accused an opposition party of fraud. The ruling MPLA won with 61.7% of the vote, continuing its record of being the only party to rule the country since independence in 1975. Last week, opposition parties filed a complaint in court about alleged irregularities in the vote. Nigeria Super Eagles fell 6 places in the latest FIFA World Ranking despite failing to lose any of their 2 qualifiers in the past month. Eagles defeated Cameroon 4-0 in the first qualifiers in Uyo before holding the African champions to a 1-1 draw in Yaoundé. The points gained left the Eagles top of their World Cup qualifying group, 3 points ahead of closest challenger Zambia. Despite the positive result, the Eagles have now fallen to 44th in the latest world ranking. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has congratulated Plateau United FC over the club's emergence as the new champions of the Nigeria Professional Football League. The Jos-based club defeated last season's champions Enugu Rangers 2-0 to amass 66 points and scoop their first ever Nigerian championship. They will represent Nigeria at next season's CAF Champions League. French capital Paris and American city Los Angeles have both been chosen as hosts for the 2024 and 2028 Olympics. The awarding of the games comes after other host cities pulled out of the race to the tournament. The IOC offered both cities an opportunity to choose between both Olympics following a lack of bidders. However, Paris refused to host the 2028 Games, and LA, who initially refused, has reached an agreement with the IOC. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.